Hi again, I'm Stephen Wessner, CEO of Predictive ROI. And for today's video, we're going to do a deeper dive into ingredient 4. There were 4 ingredients, in my opinion, in how to build a strong virtual leadership team. Ingredient number 4 is trust your team. And that's what we're going to take a deeper dive into in this video. Before we take that deep dive, would love to hear from you. Use the comment fields below this video and let me know about your experience in trusting your team, delegating to your team, empowering your team. If you're so bold enough to share some of the successes, maybe some of the trials and tribulations that you've experienced along the way, we'd love to hear from you. I'll certainly reply and offer any insights and or suggestions if you want that, but would love to hear from you. So that's the first piece. So now let's do a deeper dive into trust. And this is probably one of the more emotionally based ingredients in that overall recipe. And this is one that I kind of struggle with, and it isn't maybe what you might think on the surface. Sometimes I'm criticized because I trust too much, or I maybe delegate too much. And so with respect to our leadership team, so Eric Jensen, my business partner here at Predictive, and Catherine Bessler, who's our director of content marketing here at Predictive, both are extremely competent and capable leaders. And I can't think of a time that I have, checked in on them, micromanaged them, followed up on them. Okay, Kat, you need to be doing this day. And hey, Eric, you need to be doing this next day. I don't do that. We talk about our quarterly rocks. I inspect what I expect, but that's not a sort of a creative way to disguise, micromanaging, because I'm probably the furthest thing from a micromanager that you ever might meet. That's the point of having really super competent and professional people on your team who share the values that you share, and that all 3 of you or 4 of you or however many people are on your leadership team, that you all share that same common, grounding in values that the business is built on. And then truly being able to trust your team, delegating and truly trusting that your team is going to execute. In fact, this point was sort of reinforced to me, if you will, a few weeks ago when I was in Rhode Island for a speaking engagement for one of our clients, Chris Prefontaine, who runs a Smart Real Estate Coach in that community, which is amazing. And they're doing their annual event called QLS Live, which is Quantum Leap System Live. And he asked if I would be there for a few days and speak to the group a couple of times, to which I'm like, heck yeah, that sounds awesome. And during the Thursday mastermind before the open event on Friday and Saturday, he was with his associates, and so I was there to share some input and so forth, and we were talking about time blocking and delegating and so forth. And then he made a point to share with his associates that, Stephen runs, Predictive ROI business, and there's, 15 different teammates, and he's here, not checking his phone, not checking email, not making calls at breaks. How is he able to do that? And I offered some insight. And part of it is because I trust my team with everything. And so, whether that's, emails and obviously client work and adding things to my calendar and workflow, and all of that is happening behind the scenes without my involvement. Clients are being taken care of, clients are being delighted without my involvement. And that's the sign of having a very, very strong leadership team and exceptional teammates, when you as the business owner can step out of the, in the trenches work. And not that doesn't deserve your attention, and not that that's not valuable. That is not what I'm saying here. But what I am saying is that you need to be able to focus on your most vital priorities, the things that only you can do in the business because of maybe its skill set and talent and introductions and experience, whatever it might be. But find your MVPs and then be able to trust your team to do everything else. And if you're not able to, then you don't have the right team in place. Right? So if that's the litmus test, if it makes you nervous by being able to say, okay, Kat, okay, Eric, you've got this, along with John and Louie and Dallas and Brian and so forth, and I'm stepping out so I can go to Rhode Island and work on my MVPs and add value there while everybody else takes care of and delights clients here. If you don't have that in place, that should be your litmus test. Like if you can't trust your team to be able to do that, that should be your litmus test. And so then you do need to jump into those trenches and make sure that you build the strong leadership team that you need. Going back to ingredient number one, building that strong leadership team and then building a team of the right teammates to work alongside that leadership team so that you can trust, delegate, and then move on with your MVPs while everybody else moves on with their MVPs. So if that conversation that we're having right now, if that is making you feel uncomfortable, I'm not celebrating in the fact that that's making you uncomfortable, but I do want to reinforce how that is a litmus test. And that is a key to being able to build and scale your business. So if it makes you uncomfortable, you have to solve that problem because you cannot build and scale your business. You cannot build a strong virtual leadership team if there's no trust there in delegating, and delegating is the ultimate litmus test. Right? And even if the work is done 70 to 80% as good as you can do it, it's worth delegating away and trusting that your teammate is going to do great work. Now in our case, Eric and Catherine are exceptional subject matter experts, right? So they're going to do the work way better than I would have done it anyway. But we've gotten to that point because we've worked together for years and years and years, and now their knowledge far surpasses mine. But if you don't start that process, you'll never be able to build and scale your business because you're missing that trust ingredient. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that was not too uncomfortable. I hope that it was helpful. But please do let me know. Use the comment fields below. Let me know how this trust topic sits with you. And I'd love to be able to offer some additional insights in the comment fields, in the replies back and forth. So I would love to know what you thought of the overall video, the overall recipe and ingredients. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Let me know what you think. It helps me get better each and every week. I look forward to seeing you next week. And until then, onward with gusto.